So the fourth book, which just came out, is called Question 17. So that one is dystopian. That is, so the main character's name is Corey, and he is a very well successful young man who just graduated from what's called the academy. But they don't call them colleges; they call it academy. And so he gets an internship at a very secretive facility called the Willowlock. This story takes place 46 years after an alien invasion where Earth won the war, and we basically are rebuilding. Like there's new nations, new countries, new rules to civilization, just all of that more interesting kind of science fiction storyline. And he eventually figures out that through the or by the end of the war, the government had a list of questions about the alien invaders. Stuff like, can we duplicate their technology? Can we drive their spacecrafts? Can we learn their language? Things like, such as that. And only one question remains, which is question 17. And so he goes through by becoming involved with the director and the higher ups in the facility, just what that question's about, what it means, how they're solving it, and eventually how it's going to affect his future and the future of the people on in the facility. And yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but
Well,
it's
right, because it's
basically
total story. I mean,
mm,
it's a great title because it grabs like what on earth is this question 17 and why is it so important? Because yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
that one's definitely more dystopian, more. I don't want to say horror because it's not horror, but yeah, definitely more science fiction towards there. Which is why I tend to call myself a dark fiction author, because I can't really just say I'm a horror author because they're not all horror. So dark fiction kind of encompasses all of that, whether it be thriller, suspense, horror.
I get you. I get you. And I tend to bounce around genres, and I'm kind of still trying to figure out how to describe myself because the regular labels just don't seem to ring true. So one day I'll
Absolutely,
figure it out.
right? I mean, we don't need to figure it out. We can just go with the flow. What's life without whimsy, right?
Well, exactly. And maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just a whimsy writer. I don't know.
There you go.
but
Nothing wrong with
but
that.
I like the idea of being able to write, one genre one time and write a completely different genre the next day. Variety of
Mm-hmm.
life, like in the kitchen. Who wants to eat Mexican every day for the rest of their life? How about some,
Yep.
Vietnamese, and how about some Thai?
Well, that's right. A little variety.
Variety.
Yeah.
And I think of writing the same way.
Gotcha.
I like the variety, and same thing when I read. But
Absolutely. I'm like that too.
talk to me about your influences. So, when you are the reader, when you are someone
Mm-hmm.
who's enjoying books, who do you read? Who are your influences?
Like I mentioned earlier, with R.L. Stein, Goosebumps was the original. Obviously, Stephen King had an influence during my adolescence and later years. Currently, right now, the biggest influences I would say, well, one is Jennifer McMahon. I don't know if you've read her books. Very good. I love her story. She's definitely one where when a book comes out, I'm like, I'm buying it. I don't care what the reviews are. I'm not looking. I'm just buying it because she does a very good job. Another one would be Katrina Ward. I like her stuff as well. Darcy Coates, Rondell Melfi, uh, all of them inspire me. And I'd also do try to read a lot of nonfiction as well. Usually, when I read nonfiction, it is for some reason I love stories about shipwreck and survival and surviving on the islands and having to go through what they go through. Expeditions. I love those kind of stories when it comes to nonfiction. A little bit of history. I'll do some westerns here and there. The Old West. Yeah, definitely like Wyatt Earp and all those characters that definitely had their own little niche in life and how they took care of things on their own. Definitely, so I do try to read both nonfiction and fiction because I think they both help out. I wouldn't say I have the genres. I don't have a lot of favorite authors in right now. I would say is romance. I don't read a lot of romance. I've read Colleen Hoover. I've liked her books. Some of them they are pretty good. So I don't. I try to read as much as I can. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of authors who inspire me. But I'd say Jennifer McMahon definitely. Whenever I read her books, I'm like, oh, that's really good. I need to remember that. But then also too, I feel like you can get a lot from the books you don't enjoy either, not just the ones you
True.
do.